Heyo everybody, XEI here for a quick vlog, a little bit of a June channel update if you will. A couple things have happened in the last month and a half. As you can see on the channel, Dragon Age 2 has started. Very excited about that one. I'm already enjoying the game, couple episodes in, maybe 4 hours into the game. It looks remarkable. I think that high definition mod is definitely increasing just the visual quality of that game. For a game of 2011, looks pretty friggin' sweet. And then also, Mass Effect 1 has finished, which means Mass Effect 2 is likely coming to the channel very soon, and Mass Effect 2 came out in 2010. And so now I'm going to get to the second part of this June update, which is back maybe half a year ago now, or maybe more, maybe fall, winter, maybe half a year into the YouTube channel. One of those old vlogs was talking about this chronology list I had that I made maybe 3 years ago, which was the video games I'd like to play chronology list. And the idea behind that, the principle behind that is that if I were to go back to playing video games, which I took like 5 years off at one point, long hit, doesn't matter, it's throughout the vlog, it doesn't matter. I had a cold turkey video games because of MMOs, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I made this list because I was thinking, you know, after I played Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim, those are 2010, 2011 games, but because I had so many mods on Skyrim, and I was playing it in 2015, I guess it was like a year before the YouTube channel, the game looked really, really good. And so I got concerned that if I started playing games that were coming out, the visual experience of it all would be so good that when I went back and played things like Dragon Age Origins, which I had owned for years and years and years, going back to those games, I wouldn't be able to play them. My fear was that I couldn't play them because the visual quality was so much lower than the stuff that's coming out today that I just couldn't engage with it. So that was my concern. So I made this chronology list, and I had to look at it again because I got concerned with the quality of Dragon Age 2, and it made me just worried that I was skipping games that I knew I was skipping because you guys were waiting for Dragon Age 2. Now what that did though is it skewed my chronology list and because I got so engaged in Dragon Age Origins and then Dragon Age Awakenings with the Xander storyline, I got so embedded inside the lore of Thetis or the Dragon Age series that I had to play Dragon Age 2. I couldn't adhere to my chronology list anymore, and I started getting concerned that if I did that, and for example I jumped to Mass Effect 2 now, I would just want to jump into Mass Effect 3 and then Dragon Age Inquisition, and I would have been I'm getting way too ahead of myself, and I feel like I'm going to start to put some of the older games at risk. So I want to reintroduce the chronology list. I think there are going to be new games on this list that weren't in that previous video. These are the games I am always thinking about because I either want to play them on the side. I don't want, they're not going to come to the channel because I just have to play them in parallel when I have time here and there. That's going to take away time from me getting things on the channel, but I think it's important for me to just get through these games. Okay, here we go. Long enough intro. Let's move on. Let's get to the chronology list. So the first one is obvious. It's BioShock 1. Now, the benefit of BioShock 1, it initially came out in 2007, but there was a remaster that came out in 2016. I think it was October, yeah? So 2016, which for me was like, oh, thank God. So at least it's gotten a natural kind of facelift in the graphics department to kind of bring it more modern. So even if I skip BioShock 1 right now, I feel like when I come to it, it's going to look a little bit better, so it's not going to feel like a 2007 game. That's my theory. Don't know. That's BioShock 1. That needs to come to the channel this year. That's my goal. It's one of my New Year's things. It's going to have to happen. I'm aiming for an October so that I can do it kind of as a Halloween thing, like October, November sort of thing. So yeah, there's that one. Okay, then there's Witcher 1. Now, Witcher 1 is a game that I installed, I think it was on the Christmas break, just the past one, so on that Boxing Week or something, because I thought I was going to bring it to the channel and kind of unveil it in the new year. I got as far as like checking out the comic that came with the game, and then because of the lore of that game, I was like, oh my god, I really like the lore of Witcher, and I just read the comic. So I pulled out of the game, and I'm like, nope, I need to find a way. And then I wanted to like record the comic, like maybe I'll do like a bonus episode for the Let's Play where I show the comic and we go through that together. But then I started worrying about going into Dragon Age Awakening while playing Witcher, and then it was going to get messy with like 2 fantasy games on the go. So that one was shelved, but that's a 2007 game. I don't know what the graphics look like on that game, but I'm starting to get concerned because that's a decade ago at this point. So I need to highly consider that. I think it's like as soon as Dragon Age 2 is close to end, or I'm so comfortable with it that I don't feel like I'm going to get mangled with lore and stuff, I'm going to throw Witcher 1 into the mix. That brings us to Mass Effect 1, which we just cleared, which I re-cleared. It's the 3rd time I cleared it, but it was important because I wanted that continuity to go into Mass Effect 2. That's a 2007 game as well. Held together pretty fine though. The game looked pretty good, man. Still, that one did have 2 mods on it. It had a lighting mod and it had a high definition like texture mod on it. It was dark at times. It was a little off at times, but it did look better than the first 2 playthroughs. That takes us to the 4th game on my list, which is Assassin's Creed. That's a 2008 game that got talked about on a couple vlogs. Kind of mixed reception in the comment area for Assassin's Creed. I did get a deal on Boxing Week where Ubisoft or whatever their platform is, I think it was like 8 or 9 games, a mix of like the full games and some DLCs or some smaller games. I don't know. I got the whole package, just because it came with 3 or 4 of the core games. Okay, 5th game, Borderlands 1. I took a sneak peek of Borderlands 2 maybe a year and a half ago. I played with a friend for about 45 minutes an hour. So the high octane combat, like actiony vibe to it, it was funny. The graphics were slick. I love that cell shading graphic on it. I love the look of it. And I love the marketing behind it. And so Borderlands 1, I just picked it up. I feel like I need to play it. I feel like that's kind of like the Breaker game where it's not really, it's an action shooter. That's what it is. So the RP element's kind of out of it. It feels like it has cool lore, but I feel like the lore is very surface level. Like because it's an action shooter, you're kind of going through the storyline while shooting the crap out of things. So I feel like that would be a fun thing to bring to the channel. That is a 2009 game. That takes us to another game in 2009, which is Torchlight 1. I bought it a while ago with Torchlight 2. I bought both of them. It looks like a pretty sweet looking game, and I heard some really good things about it. I would like to bring it to the channel. I don't think it's a long game. I tried to see like how long to beat. I forgot what the rating was, like how many hours it takes to beat Torchlight. But anyways, that's on the list. I just wanted to bring it to this vlog because I don't think I mentioned it ever before. But Torchlight 1 is an option. That takes us to Dragon Age Origins, which is now completed. It was a 2009 game. Takes us to, and this is where things get a little weird, Mass Effect 2 was the next game on the list. It's a 2010 game, so really I should have started Mass Effect 2 right after Mass Effect 1 and before Dragon Age 2, but I couldn't hold back anymore. I couldn't. I had to play Dragon Age 2. But anyways, Mass Effect 2 needs to come to the channel very soon. What I was thinking for that one is, I feel like I'm already getting the hang of Dragon Age 2. It's a very slick UI, a very slick user experience game. You can tell like a lot of like design went into it. Into the way it presents itself, into the way that the gameplay, like easy to pick up, very slick visual cues. Anyways, so I feel like I'm going to pick that up pretty quick, but I would like to just ground it a little bit. Like I want to get into it maybe to episode 20 to 30 for Dragon Age 2. Then we'll start Mass Effect 2 so that I can kind of go the slow burn into like just to kind of pick up that game and what that game is like giving me in terms of like how the gameplay works and all that stuff. Okay, let's move on. So and then BioShock 2 is next on the list. It's also a 2010 game. But to play BioShock 2, I need to clear BioShock 1. So you can see where this starts to like compound. Assassin's Creed 2 is a 2010 game, but of course, if Assassin's Creed 1 is I think you guys were saying it's very repetitive, so maybe it's not a game that I want to keep bringing to the channel. Maybe I don't bring any of them to the channel. I don't know, but that's another 2010 game. Fallout New Vegas is the next one on my list. That one was cleared before the YouTube channel. I'm not going to replay that game for the channel. Part of me is because I don't want to get into Fallout 4 next. I don't want to feel that pull. I love the genre of it. I love the idea of Fallout. I love post-apocalyptic worlds. I really like New Vegas, by the way. But I don't want to... It's too many big games on this channel right now. So I'm just going to skip the Fallout stuff. Maybe years from now, play Fallout 4, Fallout 5, or whatever Bethesda wants to throw down on us. We're going to move on. Okay, so then after Fallout New Vegas, that's when Dragon Age 2 enters the list. It's a 2011 game, so we've jumped a few years. And that's a little disconcerting to me. But they all seem to be part of the same franchise. So it's Dragon Age, it's Mass Effect, it's BioShock, it's Witcher. That's it. There's basically four games that I just want to completely get embedded in, because I know there's trilogies to these things, probably more after the trilogies, but so I'm not including Assassin's Creed in there just because I'm hearing mixed reviews about that thing. And then after that, we get into like new territory, whether it's the Borderlands, because of Borderlands 2 getting good feedback, and it looks hilarious as hell. There's a Telltale Games series that's like 2012 onwards, with Walking Dead 2012, and then Wolf Among Us, which I kind of cheated again, is 2013, blah 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 blah. So yeah, there's Dishonored is on my list. Really quick, what else is on my list? Deus Ex. The first one was not playable. Invisible, I did a test on it. I was like, I don't feel like it's something I'd bring to the channel. I will try the fall, but I also think that one's going to fail. And then there's the, and I always forget the name of this one, the Human Revolution. I think that one maybe will work. But again, I don't know. I think that's going to be too much in the mix. And there's even the indie games I would like to bring to the channel. Those ones aren't on my chronology list, because those ones are they're more recent. In the last maybe 2 years, I've been just collecting indie games because I don't have time to play all of them, but I want to experience them. There's things like Aquaria, if you've heard of it. There's Dust and Elysium Tale, which I heard good things about. There's the Square Enix A Life is Strange, which is that narrative-driven, like butterfly effectian kind of game, which I saw the trailer for that and I'm like, this game looks beautiful, and I have to play the game. And of course, then there's the Telltale Games stuff. There's The Walking Dead, which I don't know how I'm gonna build up the confidence and the courage to come to that game, but I'm kind of doing the warm up with A Wolf Among Us, but that's coming. What else do I have? There's a Retro City Rampage, if you've ever heard of that game or seen that game or a trailer for that game. It looks hilarious as all hell. It's like a bunch of like 8-bit games from like the Nintendo era, like the 80s era, all mashed up into this like. It looks like the ADD nightmare. It's a crazy looking game. There is Spelunky. I got Spelunky, which I wouldn't mind doing a couple runs of Spelunky just because. Oh, and there's one called Never Alone. Look that one up. That one looks like it looks very creative, like an artistic kind of piece, an artistic experience, narrative experience. It's about Inuit myth. So I have to play that one. It looks beautiful. There's the Shelter 2 and Pause. Digital Devolver Games, Fistful of Gun. I think it looks hilarious. I got a couple on my wish list too. Anyways, I can go on and on about just, Dig or Die. I would love to do that when it goes 0.3 and it has multiplayer. I'll probably do a collab. Silent Plays is already announced on his channel. We will be doing something. We're just waiting for it to get a little bit more stable with an official release. Mykosa, also another small Let's Player out there. We've all sort of been talking in the last few months. They've also done Dig or Die series, and I think it'd just be fun. Hopefully we can actually all three play together in one Dig or Die run. I think that'd be a hell of a lot of fun. So stuff is coming, a lot of big plans in terms of just planning. I have to figure out how to bring this chronology list into play somehow. Even if it's like I don't follow it, I need to at least have the headspace or I need to have the plan in my head, so I'm not constantly going, oh my god, am I going to still like BioShock? Am I still going to like Witcher 1? Just that sort of concerns me. So I just want to make sure I don't go too far into the better looking games that I can't reverse. There you go. Okay, I think I said everything I have to say. I'm going to end this here. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire everybody. Peace.